So I would say the most important component to the success that my company has had so far is the team. I think, as a scientist, I think I'm pretty well versed in how to assess somebody's scientific ability, but often people have a certain aspect to their personalities that is really difficult to quantify, but is really just magic. And so what I've really looked for are people that work very well together. I have valued that above just raw technical skill in some cases, and that has really paid off. But I would say the most important aspect has been recognizing what I am not good at and finding business partners that complement me in those areas. So, I'm not a very good salesperson. I don't oversell things, which is actually quite important in the battery industry. And so finding business people that are that have a lot of common sense, but that are good at selling ideas has been really important, because that comes more naturally to other people than it does to me.
Okay, so starting a company is a complicated thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a advisor, postdoc relationship, or any two co-founders on the street. It doesn't matter. But ultimately, you're talking about founding a company, a founding team. So I will highly recommend people founding the company to read a book by Weiserman. It's on the founder's dilemma. So this kind of issues and frictions will exist. Doesn't matter if it's a postdoc advisor or postdoc relationship or any two people on the street, because ultimately it's about that trust. Would you go all the way with me in this journey? So it doesn't matter. The good thing is because Gary and I had such a close relationship that we are not randomly two people on the street. So we are, we know heart to heart what we want and the vision of the company. So that building that trust, I think, is the foundation of the founding team.
Part of the insight from the R2M program was also the, how to organize the company and to bring in somebody from the outside and to make it so that I could still be an active participant, but I wouldn't have to devote myself full time to running the company. I could get other people in that would really have more expertise in doing that, and it would allow me to continue my work at the university and my work on the creative and the science part of it to advance the technologies farther, but be freed up from some of the day-to-day business aspects. But again, I think the thing that really came through from the R2M training was also giving me enough understanding of the business side of things and what it would take to make a successful company that I was then able to kind of communicate effectively with folks that we brought into the company to ultimately have to do the operations, but I wasn't left out not understanding what was going on. So I think the R2M program was really helpful from that standpoint.
During the different times and different companies that I've started, one of the challenges has always been separating the academic activity and the student training events with the development and formation and running of the company. And it seems daunting, but I think it's doable. And I think really for me, it's been about focusing on the students first and making sure that they get what they need out of the process and progress towards their degree. And at the same time, balancing that with company. And so the way that I've done this is to surround the company with people outside the university to help draw that line and keep that separation between the company and the university, and allow the students to be successful in publishing and defending their degrees.
There are so many unknowns when you start a company, especially as a young scientist or entrepreneur. If you haven't had that experience, it's just a gap in experience. I think the best way to bridge that gap is to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you in all those areas or details that allow you to bridge or leverage other people's experience to maximize your success while mitigating risk.
So the importance of hiring and hiring the right team. We at SciVec, we are a lean and mean team. That's how we describe ourselves. We're small. We have 5 full-time employees, but each one of us plays a really integral role in the company. building a team that works well together, that respects each other and shares in the vision of the company and the technology is really key to our success. I would also say that starting a startup company is stressful. It's a pressure cooker type of environment. So again, knowing that you're working with people that you can lean on, that you can be very open with, that can walk with you through this stressful period is very important as well.
One PhD that we hire, he got his PhD from CSU. But he got his PhD like 8 years ago. Okay. So yeah, I mean, to some extent, the people that we hire have connection to CSU, like a formal postdoc from CSU. However, I knew him just personal relationship. Right? Then I knew him. So another undergrad that we hire, so she did summer research at CSU, and then we know her to be, we like her.
So for faculty members that are thinking about getting involved in a startup company, it can be quite scary. It's a whole different world out there, a whole different skill set, and it challenges us to grow. For me, it was one of the best experiences I've had, and it's been a journey. There's been a lot of really, really exciting times. There's been a lot of really big challenges, but it's been a growth process, and I've learned so much through that process. The best thing for me has been to surround myself with people that have great experience, that are smarter than me in a lot of ways. I continue to learn so much from other people, and there's so many lessons that we can learn from the entrepreneurial world that we can bring back to our own work here on campus.
Yeah, and it's really important to surround yourself with good people, good partners, and particularly from a business side. It's a hard process to shift from an academic mindset into that business side. And there's been cases where some of the business partners, and I can think of one case specifically where we hired a president who seemed to be a good match, but really wasn't. And in a startup world, he cost us about a year of progress. And ultimately, that was a real significant loss to us in terms of getting to the market in a timely fashion. And so being very careful about the people and the partners that you bring in is very important.
The one thing I've learned as a young entrepreneur that started the company by myself was it's impossible to grow a company alone. And it can be challenging to find the right people. My advice is to continue to talk to people to find the right person for the right role. Just like the book, Good to Great. And you do that by knowing exactly what you want, what you need as a company, and when you need it. We bridged that through funding, and it allowed us to get to this critical mass where we could start generating revenue and self-fund the growth of our team. Again, we have 50 people in the company right now. We have a whole corporate suite. I'm the co-founder. I've had 3 different titles. Right now, I'm also the acting Chief Revenue Officer. We also have a Director of Finance, a Director of HR. We have a CEO, and we have a Chief Marketing Officer as well. We have 12 people on our sales team, and the rest of the company is comprised of research and development, product development, and production and packaging. It's really complex, and you can't do it alone.
The other thing it helped us do was really look at our team and understand, do we have the right team in place, and where are some of those weaknesses that could make those initial contributors specialize more and bring in other specialists to really help us grow to that next step. And so that was a wonderful thing for us to appreciate.
One of the things that I learned through this process of entrepreneurship is that I had fallen in love with my technology so much that I was not really willing to let go of it very quickly. And I had a venture capitalist tell me one time, he said, Jeff, we're looking for an A management team and a B technology more so than we are looking for an A technology and a B management team. You're part of a B management team because you don't have that support structure around you that understands business, understands markets, and those sorts of things. And so had I learned that sooner, I think that our team could have been much stronger. And so probably the lesson learned there is, as a technologist, sometimes we love our technology, but it's real important to find partners that understand business quickly and be willing to listen and let go of sort of the day-to-day operations of your company.
Reflecting on starting the company and engaging in the I-Corps program, we learned so much about a potential market fit for our technology. It was actually invaluable for us to launch our company and to gain some early success. What I didn't realize is what I didn't know about everything else it took to scale a company. There are so many roles, and there's so many challenges and gaps in expertise that no one person can bridge them all. It takes a team to be successful in business. It just does. As a co-founder, what I realized is it takes an awful lot of flexibility and surrender to give and allow people with more expertise than yourself to come in and fill the roles, to bridge your gaps. A young company can be your baby, and you can treat it like one. That means you covet it and hold on to it, and you want to control it. And if I made any mistakes, it was not letting go soon enough and allowing people authority and people to come in and take leadership within certain aspects, within certain roles of the company. And I'll tell you, it just doesn't work any other way. Bringing in the right people and the right roles is how you scale a company. And if you can't scale a company, then the company just won't exist. So it's absolutely critical to focus on team and getting all the help you possibly can, and there's a lot out there, to understand when to scale a company and how to scale a company. That's something that you just don't get taught at the university, but you have to figure it out.
In the case where the founders are primary technologists, you have the challenge of leadership. In that case, it means one or more of the technology partners have to rise up from the lab bench and take on the tasks of leading the team, of thinking about finances and raising money and selling a product. That's a skill set that's new to most of us technologists, which is, in fact, is why the Research to Market program was launched. As a company grows, then there becomes a decision of whether the technologist turned leader continues in that pathway, or if you recruit in outside talent. And there are great examples from both camps. But one thing that's really clear is for a company to grow, the technology has to work, but the team has to become much more mature, and you have to think about building the enterprise.